Welcome to Real Life. Real lessons in emotional healing and freedom. Hi, I'm your host, Helen Nachintu, a holistic guide, intuitive calibrator reflector, and fellow traveler on this path of soul remembrance and inner alchemy. This podcast is a sacred space to remember who you are beneath the noise and reclaim your power through presence, softness, and soul truth. Each episode is an invitation to rise, not by force, but by frequency. Join me as we anchor in the love energy together. When love carries ancestral baggage, what do you do? In the unseen roots of every romantic relationship lies a complex tangle of ancestral threads. These threads, woven through generations of unspoken pain, survival patterns, and inherited beliefs, are often what we call generational trauma. This invisible inheritance can silently shape the way we love, the way we express, protect, connect, and even sabotage intimacy. At the core of this lies something profoundly sacred and often misunderstood. The balance between our inner masculine and feminine energies. When it comes to the inner dance and the inner understanding of masculine and feminine energies, regardless of gender or sexual orientation, each one of us holds both masculine and feminine energies. The masculine is often expressed through action, logic, structure, protection, and purpose. The feminine often manifests as receptivity, intuition, emotion, creativity, and flow. When balanced, these energies harmonize within us and reflect in our partnerships, creating relationships where intimacy, polarity, and where mutual growth can thrive. Our generational traumas often disturbs our inner harmony. Here are just a few examples of how that can actually manifest within us. If your maternal lineage was marked with emotional repression or abandonment, your feminine energy may feel unsafe, and this can lead you to suppress your emotions or avoid vulnerability. If your paternal lineage had patterns of aggression or emotional absence, your masculine energy may overcompensate with control or shut down to avoid being too much. You might also inherit beliefs such as, I have to do it all alone, or being soft is weak. These beliefs actually block your ability to fully embody one or both masculine or feminine energies. These inherited energetic distortions can deeply affect how we show up in our romantic relationships, and often without realizing why certain dynamics continue to repeat throughout our lives. Have you ever wondered how unresolved trauma distorts love? Here are some real-life examples of how unbalanced inner energies rooted in generational trauma can affect relationships. Let's talk about the overgiver and the avoidant. A woman who unconsciously inherited the attitude of self-sacrifice in order to be loved. This wound from generations of martyrdom may embody an overactive feminine energy. She gives too much, doesn't receive, and feels depleted. She attracts a partner with an overactive masculine energy, emotionally shut down, emotionally avoidant, and dominant, mirroring a lineage of emotionally unavailable men. Which one are you? Let's talk about the perfectionist and the lost dreamer. A man carrying a legacy of suppressed emotion from a lineage where men had to man up may repress his feminine energy. His partner, who may carry an unanchored feminine due to a mother who wasn't emotionally present, may drift, procrastinate, and struggle with direction. Together, they trigger each other constantly. One may feel emotionally burdened, and the other may feel controlled. Which one are you? Let's talk about the fear of true intimacy. A couple, both descendants of trauma related to war or displacement, may feel emotionally unsafe when things are calm. One person unconsciously stirs conflict to feel alive, while the other withdraws in order to avoid re-experiencing inherited chaos. Neither one can relax into the pleasure and the presence of love. Which one are you? These patterns are not personal failures. They are echoes of unhealed ancestral wounds, crying out to be seen, felt, heard, and transformed. What can we actually do about the unresolved trauma that distorts love? Healing these inherited imbalances requires a conscious and compassionate reclamation of our inner masculine and feminine. Here are 5 examples of how we can begin to heal. Number 1, acknowledge the inheritance that you carry within. Start by acknowledging that you may be carrying emotional burdens that are not originally yours. Reflect on your family dynamics, ancestral stories, and the roles that were expected of men and women. Use journaling prompts like, what messages about love and power did I receive when I was growing up? These journaling prompts have the ability to open deeper insights. Number 2, of what we can do to heal the unresolved trauma that distorts love. Reconnect with the suppressed energy. Ask yourself, which energy feels more natural to me? Is it the masculine or is it the feminine? Which feels blocked or unsafe? If your feminine feels shut down, invite it back through creative expression. Invite it back through rest, emotional vulnerability, or sensual embodiment. If your masculine energy feels wounded, rebuild it through healthy boundaries, through discipline and purpose-driven actions, as well as inner safety healing work. Number 3, of how we can heal through unresolved trauma that distorts love. Practice inner union. Practice meditations or visualizations where your inner masculine and feminine meet, hold each other, and begin to rebuild trust. This inner union naturally shifts the dynamic you bring into your romantic relationships. When your inner masculine supports your feminine, you stop seeking that support from outside. When your inner feminine trusts your masculine. You feel safe expressing softness and intuition. Number 4, do the ancestral work. Energy healing, somatic therapy, family constellation work, and guided ancestral rituals can help you release inherited traumas and restore energetic flow. Even simple acts like lighting a candle and offering gratitude to your ancestors with the intention to break cycles can begin to shift long-held generational patterns. Number 5, communicate consciously. In relationships, practice naming your patterns and how they feel to you. Share openly with your partner about the inner work that you are doing. Instead of blaming, speak from the perspective of awareness. For example, you could say, I notice I shut down when I feel unsupported. It reminds me of how my mother had to handle everything alone. I want to change that story. Engaging in these 5 practices will greatly support your journey of healing the unresolved trauma that has been distorting your love life. Engaging in these 5 practices will greatly support your healing journey when it comes to healing through the unresolved trauma that has been distorting your love life. The healing of love is not just about finding the right partner. It is about restoring the sacred balance within ourselves that allows healthy love to flow. Generational trauma may have disrupted our inner masculine and feminine, but we hold the power to reweave these threads into wholeness. Every time we choose presence over projection, vulnerability over armor, or clarity over chaos, we break a generational cycle. We become the healing link in our ancestral lineage. And in doing so, we create a new kind of love story, not one defined by wounds, but by awakened wholeness. Thank you for tuning in to Real Life. If today's episode helped you soften, center, or see things more clearly, please share it with someone walking their own path of emotional healing. Connect with me on Instagram @life or visit life.com to explore deeper offerings, healing sessions, and soul tools. And remember, you do not have to match the energy of the world to change it. You were born to anchor in love. Until next time, stay sovereign, stay anchored in love, and remember to tune into real life.